So you've decided to go on a beach trip. Step one, complete. But where? What's my budget? How will I get there? All the questions that you have about planning a vacation to the beach, I'm gonna cover right here. International edition. But stop right there. Maybe you haven't decided to go on an international trip. In this video, I'm gonna cover budget, resorts, flight details, airport to resort transportation, and all the traveling international tips, including what to put in those travel backpacks. That's important, especially in my life, because it's a family trip, which means, yes, there is a child coming. I must make flights as easy as possible on all of us. If the kids are happy, we're all happy, right? If we have not met yet, my name is Andrea and I am so excited that you've decided to join me today. I'm a full-time employee with demanding responsibilities, a mom of a 3-year-old, and a wife to my husband Tyler. Sometimes life is just a little crazy and planning a vacation can make it even crazier. So today I'm gonna make your life so much easier by laying out all the details and help guide you along in planning your next beach vacation. So in the midst of this crazy life, we're gonna do this together. 2 is better than 1, so let's jump into this video and plan these vacations. Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. I am so glad that you've joined me on this international edition trip we have coming up. So if you follow me on Instagram, I've been kind of secretive, but also putting little nuggets here and there on what we are about to do. So rewind back at Disney World.
So if you know me very well, you know that I constantly am thinking about my next vacation. I've been on to Tyler, like, please, 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 can we go? So he's like, no, I don't get as much vacation time as you do. And granted, he doesn't. I'm persistent. I don't know. We're not gonna go. Today, he said that we can start looking for vacations. So we'll be leaving for another vacation next month. He loves me. He gives in. Either he loves me or I'm just really annoying, and he'll probably say I'm annoying, but.
I posted on my Instagram that we were gonna go on an international trip, and because I had been begging and begging and begging my husband to go. So we got back, and 30 days away from our departure, I had booked a trip. So a little crazy, but absolutely doable. Yes, I have a lot of Disney content, but this time I wanted a vacation, and no, not to Disney World. I wanted a vacation from Disney World. I know, gasp. So the first things that I did was figure out, is it actually cheaper to stay in the States, or is it cheaper to go international? So I broke down those budgets, broke down those prices. I also was considering what country do we want to go to, what my budget truly was for the 3 of us, my husband, myself, and my 3-year-old, and what resort were we going to go to? What would be family friendly, that would be accepting of a young family, in addition to making sure that Annie has plenty of things to do while the adults are also going to have fun. One of my husband's biggest concerns is it actually more inexpensive to stay in the States versus going international to an all-inclusive resort? So I broke down the prices for him, just estimations and kind of guessing on where we would land from a price standpoint. So whenever I went to him and proposed what was gonna happen, or what I was hoping to happen, was typically per night, it's gonna be $200 to $250 a night on a beach vacation home. And I will note, I am completely aware that that's pretty inexpensive. But for 5 nights, $200 a night, again, I'm gonna go on the more reserved side, that would be $1,000 right there. There's your space. And we're not even guaranteed that that would even be a great location on the beach. Then it would cost us $500 per ticket to fly down to the beach, to Florida, whether that be the Tampa Bay area or Miami, or we even looked on the Panhandle to Destin. So that automatically is like a lot of money. That's $2,500 right there just for hotel and just for our flights. So that's pretty expensive, not considering souvenirs, any type of additionals that we want to do, or activities, and or food. Like, food can get really expensive, especially with a toddler. We all know that sometimes toddlers will grab a $20 meal and then they don't even eat a bite of it. And we all hate that. So then I started looking into international resorts, and then you guys helped me out on Instagram. Stick around towards the end and I will break down all the cost, the airfare, the resort, the extra amenities, the transportation, all of that, and I will give you a final budget at the end. So it's decided. We are gonna go international because it just simply makes more sense for our family. 1, because of price. 2, because there's so many activities that you can do at an all-inclusive resort. And 3, just the stress of food, having to waste money. Like, I particularly don't enjoy wasting money over my toddler and her not eating. So we decided to go international. Now, what country are we gonna go to? So you guys over on Instagram, I put a poll out and said, hey, share with me all of your resort recommendations. And I had so many of you all reach out to me and share your favorite countries and your favorite resorts that you all have visited. I got some people from the Bahamas, Jamaica, the Dominican Republic, Mexico. I had some Turks and Caicos in there, St. Lucia, like all the recommendations, and most of them what we were really wanting, which would be in the Caribbean islands going down. We have been to Mexico and to the Dominican Republic. My husband and I have. Annie has only been to the Dominican Republic, and I have been in Peru. I went there about in 2018, whatever math is right there. And I will also, like, let's make a side note. I went there for a mission trip. So I have a little girl in Peru that we sponsor that sends her through school, pays for her meals, and just provides an education, which in a country like Peru, it provides so many more opportunities when you can send somebody through school and gets them out of those particular circumstances. So I met my little girl, her name is Valeria, and love her so much, still in contact with her, but let me get back to our vacation planning. So let me help you break down how I kind of went through these resorts. So we were really in between Jamaica and the Bahamas and the Dominican Republic. I'll just go ahead and share with you, those are our top 3 countries that we wanted to go to. They are fairly inexpensive. Again, they have plenty of options from an all-inclusive standpoint with Jamaica and the Dominican Republic, but the Bahamas looks so beautiful. My husband's been to the Bahamas, and so we kind of snuck that one in there, especially with some of the recommendations provided from you guys. So we had decided Jamaica it is. We're gonna do it. My husband texts, I guess we're going to Jamaica. Yeah, come on, perfect. So I created this big long list, and I even have it right here, of prices and dates, because sometimes your dates are gonna alter your price points. Went through that, found out our top choices, and I will read them off to you. Beaches, Ocho Rios, Hilton Rose Hall, Moon Palace in Rio, I'm not good, but that is also in Ocho Rios. So I started breaking down these price points by person to present to my husband and share with him, in addition to multiple dates. So we have flexible schedules, my husband and I, with our work schedules, that I was able to provide about 4 different date ranges to see which one it was going to be best for our budget. And that really was very eye-opening. So I recommend that you do the same. If you can flex some of your dates, ensure that you do that, because airfares flex in addition to the resorts. So it turned out that we would have saved $1,000 per person. And yes, you heard that right, $1,000 per person, whether going sooner than later. So because my husband dragged his feet a little bit, I know, the prices skyrocketed. and they kept on climbing. And I was like, I've got to push the book button. Let's do it. Let's go now. I do not want to spend $1,000, $2,000 more than what we've budgeted for our family. It skyrocketed. I was just not going to pay that much. So then we went back to the drawing board. So Jamaica wasn't completely out of the question. It was just that there was a lot of resorts left that we were not super happy with from a family-friendly standpoint, and or we have to have a water park. Like, Annie is obsessed with water parks. Whenever we were in the Dominican Republic last year, we stayed at Loposan, and they have this huge water park, and Annie was obsessed. Like, she wanted to go to that water park every single day. We went to the water park more than we went to the actual beach. So we have to have a water park in this resort. So we went back to the drawing board and we decided that we were going to go to the Dominican Republic because they offered a lot more options from a budget-friendly standpoint. Again, I want this vacation to be just as expensive, if not like less, than if we were staying in the States, because again, all-inclusive, it has all of your food, most activities, and just a lot more options for you to do as a family rather than having to pay the additional cost if you stayed in the States, because the States just don't have that many all-inclusive resorts, which is fine. But again, we're out here trying to save some money and enjoy a vacation. So we went on the hunt again, but this time in the Dominican Republic. And so we ultimately chose, drumroll please, Hard Rock in the Dominican Republic. This place looks incredible. It has so many slides, so many activities, and a ton of food options, and just the atmosphere looks super, super fun. Again, we want it to be family friendly, but also Tyler and I want to have a wonderful time that also caters to adults as well. So that is our location. That is where we are going. As a mom and a planner of many vacations, the first thing that I freak out about or have anxiety over is not the actual plane ride, it's not the resort, it's the actual transportation from the airport to the resort. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share 3 options with you guys on how to get from the airport to your resort, specifically in the Dominican Republic. So the first one is what we have used on our trip last year. We used Nexus. So you can simply get online and book through them, and it's a big orange company. Whenever you get at the airport, you're walking out, you will absolutely see them. Like, you are not missing them. We did private transportation and it was fantastic. They helped us out, they helped us with our luggage, and we got there safely. The other option specific to the resort that we're staying at, which is the Hard Rock, is they also use transportation or offer transportation from the airport to the resort, and you just book through the website and they can get you there. What option we're going to do is the Dominican airfare transfer, and I will put that up on the screen because I have not booked it, so we're gonna book it together. So I have it up on the screen for you guys, and what we need is a round trip. We're gonna do private transportation. In addition to, we need a car seat. I'll pull my screen back up. We are going to go to the DominicanAirportTransfers.com, okay? And then I'm gonna click round trip, okay? And then it says, if you need additional transfers upon arrival, before arriving at the hotel, or during your stay, please do so in the multiple transfers section. Okay, but we are just gonna do a round trip. If you needed to do multiple transfers or stops, whether you wanted to stop at the grocery store whenever you get there, etc., that is an option for you. So type in the airport. We're gonna be at PUJ, which is the Punta Cana International Airport. Okay, and then we're going to type in Hard Rock Hotel Punta Cana. All right, our arrival date here is going to be the 28th. And I do not know, I don't think I mentioned it. This is actually, yes, it's a vacation from Disney because we go so often, but also we go on an anniversary trip every single year. The only time that we have not went on an anniversary trip was 2020. obviously. So the 28th is actually mine and Tyler's 6th anniversary. And so yeah, we are leaving on our anniversary. And then it's gonna be a shorter-ish trip. So we are going to be coming back on the 2nd of May, okay? Simple as amount of people, we're gonna do 3. And then I'm just gonna simply click find transfers, okay? And then we're gonna let this guy load. And we're gonna scroll down, and here are the options for your transfer. We have this guy, which is a private transfer, and that is what private transfer, that is what we are looking for. I personally feel a lot more safe doing private transfers, whether that be in Mexico. We've done private transfers there. Our last trip, my Peru trip was different, obviously, because it was a missions trip. But even at Disney World, we do private transfers. It just is a lot more convenient. I feel a lot more safe. So that is my nugget on private transportation. So you have these options, and this is only $72 USD. So that's going to be the US dollar. And then also, if you need a scooter, this is the great thing about this website is that if you need additional help with your mobility, then you can also rent a scooter. So make a note for that. And additionally, here's another option where you have a luxury transfer, which would be a Suburban, which is $140. And then you have another luxury transfer, which is a Cadillac Escalade. And you do have the option of having the Affirm. So if you wanted to split that up in 4 interest-free payments, that is an option for you. So what we're gonna do is we're just kind of gonna go in the middle of the road. I'm fine with the Suburban. So I'm gonna go ahead and click this. And it also shows the mileage on this page. This seems a lot more efficient versus the other 2 options. But again, you can compare your prices, you can compare your options, because Nexus also doesn't go to every single resort in Punta Cana. So you have options if you're going to the Dominican. I just say that. Here's your booking summary. We've got the 3 people. Transfer price is $70 both ways. And then you can scroll on down here and you can put your airline information in here. And let me go ahead and do that because I'm gonna have to pull up my Delta app. When I put the flight information in, it automatically loaded in. So I just like to confirm. There's a lot of airport transportation companies out there that does this same type of perk or this type of system. I like to make sure just in case. Here's our child seats rental, which is awesome. This, like I said, it's a lot easier. It's gonna be an additional $10 cost. It was also a $10 cost with Nexus. It was also an additional $10 cost through the Hard Rock Resort. And so if also you're not staying at Hard Rock, I would make sure that your resort, or just check out to see what options your resort has. You're welcome to bring your own car seat, obviously, but the parent will be in charge of choosing the car seat, whether that being forward or rear facing. You'll choose like just know that their weight, their height, obviously you know their age, in choosing the car seat to see what is going to fit them best. So we're gonna scoot down. We are actually not golfing this trip. I asked Tyler if he wanted to golf at our resort. We have a TSA approved golf bag, but he said he's gonna skip out. So we're not gonna do the golf bag. We're not bringing surfboards, pets, bicycles. Total of luggage carry-on and suitcases, we're gonna go ahead and say 6, because if you know me, I like to pack and there's no shortage of packing, but nonetheless, I'm gonna go ahead and put 6 because it's better to put over than be a shortage, because sometimes the number of suitcases will determine what vehicle they're gonna bring you in. I know it says that I did the Suburban, but there's multiple sizes, etc. So I might not get the exact Suburban, but I always like to put more just in case. And then I'm just gonna put in the comments that I need a forward facing car seat, because I would hate to get there and it be like an infant car seat and Annie just kind of looks at me crazy. Nonetheless, so lead travel, first name, we're gonna do my name, Andrea Moberly. If any of you all are saying my last name wrong, it's Moberly. and then I'll go ahead and put in my personal information. And I'm just here to say that this is by far the easiest transfer that I've done internationally, like facts. All right, perfect. Copy of the vouchers sent to my email. Make sure that you are bringing your vouchers along with you. So I've had a guest join me. Are you excited about our vacation?
Yeah!
Where are we going?
Punta Cana!
Punta Cana! Do you love the Dominican Republic?
Yeah!
Now I'm gonna help you guys enter a different country. And yes, it takes a little bit more than just your passport. You have to fill out information to enter the country. So, step 1, have a passport. If you've not already started the process, you need to start the process. I know with Annie, last year, we had applied for her passport in the month of October, and it was maybe January, and we still had not seen an update to her status. So I had to call and expedite it so it would be back in time for us to go. So make sure that you're giving yourself ample time to get that passport. If you already have your passport, fantastic, good job. I'm gonna share my screen with you again to show you how I am going to expedite my check-in with passport verification. So this is something you're either gonna have to do on the plane, like paperwork, or I did the paperwork on my way into Mexico, Peru, but you can just verify your passport via your airlines app. We are flying Delta. We did it with American Airlines last year when we flew into Punta Cana, but I'm gonna take you along with verifying your passport app. Or passport verification, okay? So we're just gonna go ahead and click the verify now on the screen, and it's gonna pull up all of our information. Well, maybe it's not going to. Here it is. So we're gonna go ahead and scan our passport, and it says, let's get you ready for your trip to Punta Cana on April 28th. So all you're gonna do is you're gonna allow the camera, and I'm simply going to just scan my passport. I've got Tyler's, mine, and Annie's, okay? I need good light or something, I guess. Keep it very still, there's a tip. So then I'm gonna go to next step. So e-ticket, at the top, we're gonna click English. That makes things a lot easier for your e-ticket application. So all you're gonna do is you're gonna put in your general information, your country of residence, your city, and then it asks, do you make stops in another country? And we're gonna click no. So we're gonna do arrival, main passenger. So I'm gonna do this with every single person that's traveling with me. So Tyler and Annie, we're gonna do that. You're gonna put your name, your date of birth, your gender, and your place of birth, which is it's just gonna be your country. Is the nationality of the passport different from your place of birth? And then you're gonna put in your passport number. You're gonna put your civil status, so married. I'm gonna put my occupation in there, my email address, my phone number. Are you a foreigner resident in the Dominican Republic? No. Are you lodging in a private rental, an Airbnb? Are you going to stay in a hotel? Yes. And then it asks if you're going to see family and friends, own a house, if you're going ship or ferry, transit. Then you're gonna put in your hotel, and then your embarkation port, your disembarkation, your airline name. It's asking for all of this, okay? And it's gonna do this for every single person that is flying with you. Flight date, we'll put that in there. Your flight number that's going to be arriving into the country. It's gonna ask for travel purpose. We're gonna go for leisure. Days staying. Do you plan on practicing any of the following sports during your stay? None, surf, windsurf, scuba diving, or golf. This time is probably a none. Tyler and I in the past have went scuba diving, which was super, super fun. But with Annie, one, my anxiety just couldn't handle it. Even if I was the only one down there, like mom anxiety, craziness. But we loved to go scuba diving before child. And so I'm gonna just simply screenshot my application code. It says, this is your application code to access your form. And then as I scroll down, and then I'm just gonna accept their terms. Would you like to complete your exit ticket? Yes. And so you got to fill out the same information in order to leave the country. And so I've got my e-ticket pretty much done for myself. It has my passport number, it has my application code, my country of nationality, the date of issue, my migration, my flight day, and it has a QR code for entering. And then additionally, it has my departure information as well with my QR code. You can send this by email to yourself if you want to, screenshot it, or download a PDF. So I got mine done. I got my e-ticket to my email. I'm gonna go ahead and do Tyler's, and I'm gonna go ahead and do Annie's so I can make this transfer into another country a lot easier. Apparently, the Hard Rock Hotel in Punta Cana is ginormous. So we have opted into renting a golf cart for our time at the resort. So that should be interesting. So I got in contact with one of the travel agents that works for the Hard Rock Cafe, and I emailed them telling them that I was very much so interested. I would be interested in their prices in addition to potentially booking. So I reached out to them, and they got back to me really quick and gave me some options on what type of golf cart did I want to rent. It was gas or electric, and they sent me pictures and a booking form that I was able to get on there, and I'll put all of this up on the screen so you can kind of see or go back for reference if this is something that you wanted to do. But it's not Hard Rock that actually owns these golf carts. They go through another company. So I went ahead and booked the golf cart. And just a side note, like whenever I saw the price pop up, like he already had told me how much the price was gonna be, but whenever I saw it in the Dominican pesos, I about had a heart attack because it was like 32,000 Dominican pesos, like heart attack. Did the form, paid with it with my card. So you're gonna need to make sure that your card is going to be able to be used from an international standpoint. The bank, like your bank might get a little skewed whether they're gonna accept like the Dominican pesos. Like I used one of my international cards and it just paid for it. It translated into US dollars. Rented that, and I will make also a note that I'm really excited because I plan on decorating it. That's the Disney coming out in me. But I definitely am gonna decorate it with some like solar lights, and I got some in my Amazon cart that I'm gonna get and maybe wrap around the poles that like little seahorses and starfish, etc. So I'm really excited about that part. But I went ahead and booked that, and to make things a little bit easier trying to get from one location to the next. And they do have parking spots. From the research that I have done, there's parking spots at your resort and different locations around the property. I wanted to make a final note before I got into the price breakdown of don't forget to put international access on your phones before you leave the country. You can actually call your cell phone carrier and they can put the specific date of when you're leaving, when you're coming back, and they can let you know about the charges. All of that is different, so I won't get too much into those types of charges and what the stipulations are because everybody has different packages, but don't forget to reach out to your cell phone carrier to see any potential charges. I do know if you do with us, if through our cell phone carrier, that if you add it to one, it's only like $10 extra to add it to the other one. So we just opt to do both, but also Wi-Fi should still work for you for your phone services. It just makes me a little nervous from the transportation standpoint of not having cell phone service, and or if something had happened from the airport to the resort, and I didn't necessarily have Wi-Fi, and I didn't want that to be on my shoulders of like, this is gonna cost so much money because I have to make a phone call, or maybe I wanna send a text message or a picture to somebody that we're like on our way and we're excited. Don't forget to at least reach out to your cell phone carrier to see what your options are. Now, I've not started my pack with me yet because we are about 20 something days away from our arrival to the Dominican Republic. So you'll have to make sure that you're subscribed and your alert notifications are on, because you do not want to miss out on packing for a beach trip / international trip. You don't want to miss out on that. But I will go over some of my favorite things that I like to do from a travel bag standpoint. So Tyler, myself, and Annie will all have our own little backpack. And then myself, I'll have just a fanny pack. It's just a lot easier for me to carry our passports and my camera or a cell phone right in here. Tyler will have some snacks in his backpack, so some backup snacks. Let's be real, because Annie will also have some toys in hers and some snacks. So I typically put some snacks in a reusable baggie for her disposal, and I will put a cube in her backpack as well of some toy options for her discretion. She can get in her backpack. She'll also have her iPad and a thing of headphones for her to, you know, utilize her iPad, or put the little plug into the seat, because we always fly Delta, so they've got the screens, the games on the back of the seats, which she absolutely loves. So Wi-Fi is also free whenever you're flying Delta and you're a Sky Miles member, which it's also free to be a Sky Miles member. So, and let me also just do a plug-in. Annie is a Sky Miles member, Tyler's a Sky Miles member, and I am a Sky Miles member. So if you all prefer an airline, or if you just fly the same 2 airlines all the time, make sure everybody that's flying actually has a Sky Miles number so they can accumulate some points and some miles, or however that airline does it. So as promised, I'm gonna break down our price points of everything that we've spent and our budget for you guys. So starting out at the resort for 4 nights, 5 days, all inclusive, that's food, that's the water park, some extra amenities. It's going to be a total of $2,000.56. For our airfare, it was per ticket $689, which brought the total up to $2,067. And I'll also make a note that that number is extremely variable, and you can get those a lot cheaper through either A, a different airline, or B, planning a lot sooner than just 30 days. I would also recommend to use the Hopper app. I use that a lot whenever we're traveling to and from Disney World on specific dates. It'll tell you when the best time to book your flight, whether you should wait, and the best case scenario. So that airfare can be a lot cheaper than what we paid for it. And then transportation from the airport to the resort is a total of $161 round trip. Private transportation, luxury, car seat, all of it, that's a $161. And then the golf cart, which is just an extra. Like, you don't need the golf cart if you don't want it, but that was $541 for the 5 days. There's also another option. We went with the electric golf cart. You can get the gas golf cart, which is a little bit more cheaper. I believe that one is $100 a day. So that brings our grand total, let me pull up my calculator, to $4,825 for the 3 of us to go to Punta Cana. And again, that includes food. That includes the airfare. That includes so many activities that we can do while we are in Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic. I am so grateful that you decided to join me today, and I hope that all of the information that I shared with you is going to be A, super helpful, or B, really encourage you to fly somewhere new, somewhere that you've never been before, whether that be a different resort, whether that be a different country or a different state in the United States, whichever. But I hope this encourages encourages you to spread your wings and fly and go in on a well-deserved vacation. So I hope that you will subscribe to my channel. It helps me out a ton. Like this video, that would be amazing. Find me on Instagram and we'll be internet besties forever, whether that be on vacations to the beach or whether that be for Disney World, whichever one. I'm so glad that you're here. So make sure to click on one of the videos on the screen to continue on this journey with us, and I will see you next time. Happy traveling. Bye.